to Allianz Stadium. Week 2 of the Women's Premiership of the NRL, and it's a virtual final because the Broncos, well, they can just about secure their place on Grand Final Day with a win. Meanwhile, the Roosters, they came into this competition as the absolute favourites, very much expected to be there on Grand Final Day, but all of a sudden, they find themselves against the ropes. They must find a way to win this game and to keep themselves in the competition. The Broncos, no doubt, after week 1, they are well and truly the benchmark. I introduce my co-commentators, Peter Sterling, Joe Barrett. G'day.
Hello, how are you?
You ready to rock and roll, Joe?
Absolutely. I'm a little bit nervous, actually.
Are you a Broncos girl through and through?
Oh, I'm trying not to be too biased, but I live in Brisbane now. I'm a Queenslander, and I know a lot of the Broncos and the staff, so I'm fairly committed to them.
Joel, she's nervous because she's sitting next to you.
Oh,
it's a bit like myself, actually. First time we've worked together, really looking forward to it, Joel.
Should be fun, Pete.
Yeah, and obviously a big win. The other thing for Broncos last week was the fact that they scored so many points and got that differential going their way. So if it did happen to come down to that, which is probably a little bit unlikely, they put themselves in a really good position. Jemima
Taufa, now here's the real story. She leads the team out, quite surprisingly, the 21. The Women's Elite Player of the Year came off the field with an MCL injury, and for all intents and purposes, this girl on screen you see now in the Roosters jumper, Jemima, they thought that was it. Their best player was gone for the season, but I'm told her professionalism, she hasn't slept all week, just the ice pack's been out, and to find her way onto the field, which will now leave the captain because they've opted to leave her on the bench to bring her on without having to play the full hour of the match. But unbelievable talent, unbelievable dedication. It's unusual you see the captain go back to the bench. This girl here, self-confessed, she knows she needs a big one. Maddie Studden, the captain of New South Wales. She likens her game to a Cooper Cronk type style, and she knows she's got to be better today. Yeah, I mentioned earlier, I thought she was passing the ball too far away from the defensive line on occasions. I'd like to see her take it right up to the line and bring O'Mealy onto it, maybe with a couple of short passes. Here we go. Referee Peter Goff. We've got kick-off week 2. The Broncos taking on the Roosters, and this is all in for the Roosters. They must win this. Chelsea Baker, she was the player arguably of the week last week, and a good start for the Roosters defensively to bring her down 15 metres out from her own goal line. They're going to up the ante a little bit here, the Roosters. Well, that's early 90 stuff from the Broncos, spreading the ball inside the 30, immediately getting it to Robinson. And Robinson taken down 10 metres short of the halfway line. Well, I was told the Roosters would be the ones pressing the envelope in this one, but an immediate start for the Broncos. Federica plays the ball 5 short of the halfway line. Brayley to Brigginshaw, back to Ballinger. And Heather 5 metres into the territory, but concerted effort from the Roosters. No fewer than 4 were there to make the tackle, including Ruan Sims, who's back into the team. Brigginshaw just chips it in behind, looking for McGrady, and McGrady chased down well by the Broncos, and she's trapped 18 metres out from her own goal line, now pushed back within 12. Yeah, great sign of intent from the Broncos in that first set of 6. Firstly, passing the football in their own 20-metre line, and Robinson found a little bit of space down that left flank. And then the early kick from Brigginshaw. They didn't wait till the last, drove it down, and now looking to force an error. 12 out, the Roosters bring it out from their line. Sahara Tamara, flat pass away to Walton, and just gets beyond the 20. So they didn't have the benefit of a warm-up game, the Roosters. Not that they're fully pinning the blame on last week's effort. Nice pass from Studden. She got a beautiful pass back away, and the Roosters were on the verge of a quick play. The ball 15 metres short of the halfway line now. They shift it back in field. It comes away from Studden. Studden sends it wide now to O'Mealy. Long pass away to McGrady. Here's a chance. McGrady finding space, but a good chase from Robinson, who hauls her over the touchline. She was shown the chalk of the sideline, McGrady, but Robinson so quick.
I referred to it earlier about the Broncos taking a chance in their own 20, and the Roosters hit back straight away, and they'll be a bit disappointed they went out on the sideline there, but it's a fairly intense battle early in the game.
That's a great ball from O'Mealy. Put it on the chest there of Sharon McGrady. Just didn't have enough pace to get away from her opposing winger. The other thing, Joel, is that when the Roosters played last week, they were great greasy conditions. not really conducive to that kind of football. So it's nice to see the ball being thrown around as the dummy is thrown and nearly through Brigginshaw. Great tackle.
If she frees the ball to Robinson, you think the Broncos may have just started the scoring here at Allianz, but that might happen anyway. They're inside the 30. Brayley ushering the troops along. Rona Peters makes a beeline and taken down. Good defence from the Roosters. So they've got to survive this set here, the Roosters. Brayley, left to right, sends it to Brigginshaw. She's the Pied Piper. Watch out for this girl, Narty. And Narty wrapped up by Studden. Continuing the short side goes Brayley. Now to Meg Ward, and Meg Ward secured to the tackle by Gray. Last tackle 9 metres out here for the Broncos. Brayley back to Narty, long pass Brigginshaw, calling players under. That's a foil though. Now sends it across to Pilley. Amber Pilley, they run it on the last. But despite not getting to the kick, what a wonderful place to hand the ball over.
Look, Ali, stay square. Keep coming.
There could have been a pass delivered to the winger there, but Senna decided to straighten and explore herself. But as you saw, some heavy defence there, looking to keep the Roosters down this end of the field, and that's where we've played most of this game so far.
Joe, we look at the team list and the thumping to which the Broncos produced last week. It's actually the Roosters who boast the most amount of Gillaroos.
That's right. Of all the teams in the competition, Joel, they were the ones that, I don't know if they bought, signed the most marquee players. They've got 11 Gillaroos in their side, so there's certainly no lack of experience there.
Hilda to Studden, and Studden just working across again, and there's an offload, a beautiful pass. It comes away now to Kelly. Kelly's got support, taken down by the fullback Baker. So Baker out of play here. Do they look at an early kick, perhaps, the Roosters? Hilda across to Studden. Studden, long pass away now. Sahara Tamara, O'Mealy dummy. Oh, she's toying with them. O'Mealy to Stowers. And Stowers looking for the offload. Brought to the turf of Allianz, 28 metres out from the try line. O'Mealy from dummy half sends it to the sky. Easy take for Chelsea Baker. She was trying to creep back into the half, but couldn't quite get there on the full. Let's go to the sideline, Alana Ferguson.
Yeah, thank you, Joel. Just a conditions update. It's perfect weather for footy down here. There is a slight breeze that's favouring the Broncos, but we've already seen both teams using the footy. I think they're going to throw it around quite a bit this game. Should be very exciting.
Broncos have possession, 30 away now. Brutal defence again. Penalty for the Broncos.
Bring it back. No. Just wait. Right, you're on the mark.
Yeah, you heard there, Tasman Gray, player penalised for coming back in over the tackled player.
Attacking-wise, Tasman's had a good start. She's broken the line, the 2 touches the ball that she's had. She's going to be dangerous on the left edge in attack with Isabel Kelly there, but for now she's made a mistake in defence.
Ballinger and Heather, the federal police officer,
Stand together.
6 metres short of the halfway line.
Hold, go. 9, go 10.
And just repeating,
Keep coming,
quite
9.
remarkably, Samaima Taufa, the captain, she'll be back. Oh, look at this charge. Away they go now, and Fota Moala, a decent burst, 35 away. Broncos on the attack. Narty, here's the one you've got to watch. Good defence coming in from Gray. Brings down Ward, 22 metres out from the try line.
Hold, go 3.
Brayley, Lenarduzzi onto the field quickly. Tamara makes the tackle. The Broncos within 16. Brayley
15.
sends it left now. Narty fires a pass to Brigginshaw. Back to Baker, set play, but wrapped up beautifully there by the number 12, Foliaki. Short side they go, Broncos. Robinson. Nice little battle out here, McGrady and Robinson. And once again, they hand it over without a kick, Joe.
Yeah, look, the one thing the Broncos are getting right, they're completing their sets and they're staying in good field position.
Couple of great tackles from the second rowers in that set of 6. Gray and Foliaki on either side of the field. Just came up with absolute beauties to put a punctuation mark to the play. As the Roosters go exploring. Looks like McGrady coming in off her wing and gets her side's first penalty, a high tackle.
No, Maddie, don't push. It's all right. Shaz, good job.
Yeah, Lenarduzzi on screen here. They tell me that whatever the crowd is here at the moment, it's quite possible that Lenarduzzi had arranged the tickets. She was at the team all week. I need more tickets. Family, friends, they're all coming here to watch the women's premiership match.
Yeah, she's actually got a track and field background. She's a very good shot putter, and she's not long into rugby league, so she's got a lot of power and speed. And as she develops, I think she'll do really good things as a forward in years to come.
Hilda. So we understand Hilda. She's taking the shine off the ball, so to speak, with Nita Maynard to come on in a short while. They shifted across Studden. Studden gets the pass away now, and Gray. It's a good story, Gray, isn't it? Played in Origin 5 months after giving birth to a young child.
As a forward, Tasman's got a lot to offer. I did mention it earlier. She's got a good fend and an offload, and she's quite fast if she gets, you know, one-on-one with someone. So she'll be a bit of a headache there for the Broncos.
O'Mealy working the shorts on the left. She's been parked on the right for the most part and then bobbed up on the left side, causing an immediate panic for the Broncos. Studden, left to right. Now they send it across. Foriaki gets it to Brown. Back inside it comes away. Beautiful pass. They're charging for the line, the Roosters.
Ah, held up.
And Foliaki can't ground the ball.
Held up. Great tackle from Baker. Lovely ball back on the inside. It looked like it was going to be a try, all ends up, but the Broncos cover defence has done a great job.
Chelsea with the foot. Wait for Goffin.
Ball back on the inside. It's Foliaki. They turn her, and Baker knows exactly where the football is and makes sure that it doesn't get near the ground.
Ballinger. So they're finally winning some field position here, the Roosters. Almost 10 gone. Grueling affair. No score. Brayley's got the eyes up, scanning where to go for this Broncos team. Penalty. Another penalty out of trouble for the Broncos.
Don't kick it away.
Full credit to the Roosters. They almost look like a different side to last week. They seem to be really organised in their attack, and they're getting up and taking the ground off the Broncos in defence. So it certainly will be an arm wrestle for the two teams this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. They look much more confident with the football. And some of the touches from Amelia, as you point out, Joel, on both sides of the field have been tremendous. Nearly set up that try. There's some heavy defence again. That's on Fatamawala.
Brayley to the open. She looked for Ballinger, but takes the tackle herself. Just shy of the halfway stripe here at Allianz. Hasn't there been some famous battles in the NRL of the men's between the Broncos and the Roosters? You just get the sense from the cusp of the same here in the women's match as we come back to Brayley to Narty. Narty will corral back, loses. So here's an opportunity for the Roosters.
The Broncos in the warm-up. Paul Dyer, obviously the coach of this Broncos side, but Scott Prince and Michael Hancock, both assistants down there, putting the Chargers through their warm-up.
On the other side of things, Pete, Dean Withers helping out the Roosters, and here's a penalty. Well, a point's about to come now for the Roosters.
See, there's Eliana Walton there, the most capped New South Wales player, and full respect to her. The first touch of the ball today, she attracted 4 defenders, and it took all 4 of them to get her down. So I know the Roosters forwards have been a little bit, I guess, questionable in terms of injuries with Samaima Taufa and Ruan Sims, but I've got every confidence in Eliana. She'll certainly do the job for them today.
O'Mealy and Foliaki so close to scoring moments ago. Foliaki plays the ball just inside the half here of the Broncos. Walton, and they tell me of Eliana Walton, very, very protective of the younger players in this team. 40 away. Hilda, Ruan Sims. So just that presence of Ruan rather, back into the side, and to think that Samaima's there as well, providing great confidence for the Roosters. Studden to the line, goes to O'Mealy on this left side again, to Kelly, but taken down well by Carly Takawa. Studden to Tamara Sims. And her brothers have been in the try-scoring mood of the last month. Can Ruan join them this evening? Hilda, Tamara Samara, there's the early kick, chasing through Karina Brown. Baker missed it. Karina Brown has got between them and stolen a try for the Roosters.
Yep.
We do have the video ref here in the women's premiership, but you get the sense Karina Brown has pinched a try.
Well, she's giving nothing away, Karina Brown, but she seems to have snuck around the outside of some Broncos defenders who were just taking their time, hoping the ball was going to go dead in goal. Lovely kick, beautifully placed. Oh, has she gone over the top of it and knocked? Oh, we need to go back and have a look at there, an earlier touch with the left hand. If it is, I think it goes back.
On-call decision try.
Karina Brown misses the ball with the right hand and then knocks on with the left hand. There is no downward pressure. We have a decision.
Yeah, it could have gone either way. I thought with the left hand there that if she did touch it, it might have gone back, and then she did put it down. What did you think, Joe?
Well, I just wanted to take the lead on Gus last week and use the word bobble, and I was looking for downward pressure as well, but I did think she looked like a bit of a sneaky knock on in slow motion, but in real time I thought she definitely showed more urgency than Robinson, and that sort of, to me, spelled that Robinson's just a little bit inexperienced there with a netball background at this level, and you can't give Karina anything.
Yeah, well, Baker and Robinson, they really got that wrong. They almost got in each other's way.
Sideline Alana. Alana, what was your read on the try, or no try for that matter?
I don't think it was a try, but positive signs for the Roosters. Zahara Tamara, who's playing lock for the Roosters, she was the one that just put in that grubber. She's used to playing in the halves, so the fact that she can have that confidence and put that kick through, there was a play before that she joined the line and linked up both halves. So very promising for the Roosters. They're using the ball a little bit more, and to add her in there as a ball player and a kicker, it's just going to make them more dynamite in attack.
Yeah, they moved. So they're playing with the three halves, as Alana mentioned, the old-fashioned way. So the lock in the men's NRL match has morphed into more of a front row or back row, Pete, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm old school. I like especially a roving role.
But that's what you get with the women's premiership, Pete. You don't get the block plays and the wrestle in the play of the ball.
Breath of fresh air, Joel.
Beautiful. As we're seeing Ruan being tended to here for the time being.
In all seriousness, Ruan could be taken further away here, and we could be playing on instead of getting the hand taped. We have that beef in the NRL. You really can't stop play for this long for a player just getting strapped within the vicinity. Not hard to move. No,
exactly right. Karina Brown as well, who had that near miss of a try, played winger last week, but Coach Adam Hardigan felt he needed her at the back of the field. She's got the loudest voice, and her communication skills are brilliant. Defence was always going to be a major priority against the teams, the Broncos, who piled on 30 points last week. So hence why you see Karina Brown wearing the #1 jumper this evening.
Well, in the State of Origin this year, Joel, she actually played at fullback for Queensland, and Chelsea was on the wing. So I've been really looking forward to watching those two out there today against each other.
And the ball back in the hands of the Roosters. The plucky Roosters 30 metres out from the try line.
Okay, yours now, 0.
Can they break this Broncos wall? Ruan Sims, 22 metres away. So still no sign of Maynard yet. Hilda still occupying the dummy half position. Foliaki coughs it up, and the Broncos get a reprieve.
Yeah, shake of the head there from Foliaki. I think she changed direction just as the pass was being delivered. And that's a real let-off. That was only mid-count as Ballinger put on her back, 28 out from her own line, centre field.
Moala had a terrific start to this match. Lenarduzzi. Chelsea slips by the 40. Brayley to Brigginshaw. Here comes Federica. And Federica will play it in the middle of the park here. Brayley to Brigginshaw. Brigginshaw, the winger was up, so she puts the ball in behind McGrady. Karina Brown forced to go back. And good chase from the kicker in Brigginshaw, and they arrive with great thrust, the Broncos.
Yeah, that's a momentum change of that one. Again, an early kick. Ruan Sims getting more attention to that wrist thumb area. They're under the pump for a little while down their own end. Broncos nearly conceded a try, but the kick gets them down to where they want to be. That's Simon coming in to help out centre field.
And Pete, about the same time as Ruan's being tended to now, that they wanted to bring Samaima Tautha into the action, Kelly Haven't seen a lot of the ball so far from dummy half. She goes. Penalty here, Roosters.
That'll be a wanted break for the Roosters. The Broncos' kick chase was really intense and they got down there in numbers, and the first three, the Roosters could barely get out of there 20, 25 metres out. So getting a little break down the field.
They've mentioned Maynard a couple of times, Joel, and spoke about the impact she had last week. I'd be looking to get her in this last 10 minutes coming into half-time, and another maybe 6 or 7 minutes, just to try and find a little bit of tiredness in the opposition team. Just something to go into half-time with. That ball was touched, but Studden will retain the footy. Broncos tried to keep it in the field of play, unable to do so.
So just repeating the key changes to the NRL. It's 30 minutes a half here. 10 interchanges for the women, and they have a 40-30 as opposed to a 40-20 as Kelly takes off. Kelly, again, Baker, the fullback first to make the tackle. Pilly was there to help as well. O'Neilly, taken down Stowers. Now, penalty here, Roosters. Stowers was the player cleaned up. There's no question about her strikeability. And there's a train of thought that if Stowers doesn't get the possession that she needs in the centres, that perhaps you'll see her moved into the back row to get more possession.
That's a good word, strikeability. I like that one. I'm going to use that. Hope you don't mind me stealing it.
As Foliaki is towards the 30 and just beyond now as Hilda to the left. Simona Taufa sends it across to Latu. And Latu 22 metres away. They were good off the bench last week, the Roosters clan, as they go to Studden. Studden across now, and wrapped up was Gray, the sister of Jordan Rapiner. Studden back to Tamara. Long pass away, trying to get it out to this girl here. Stowers, who juggled it, play on, said the referee. Almost gave herself up.
Don't give yourself up.
It's very kind of her.
May have got away with that, I think, as they go left-hand side now. And there's the first charge from Taufa. We'll keep an eye on that right leg. Unbelievable story. Hilda to Studden. There's the kick. Who's chasing? Coming through Gray. The kick too big.
Here we go.
They march back to the 20, the Broncos.
Your whistle, Josh. In the middle with the foot.
And that's a play you've got to get right.
Okay, zero coming.
You just can't hand the opposition a 20-metre restart and an extra tackle.
Release now.
Go, 0.
The Broncos now bring it out. Possession rate is substantially in favour of the Roosters, almost 60%. And that was after having very little football in the opening 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, as a result, too, they're a bunch lot, aren't they, the Broncos? Sideline Alana.
Yeah, just a quick update on Ruan Sims. It's the same thumb that she's had the operation on, but the doctor's had a look at it. He thinks it's fine, and we'll see her back out there.
Tough luck, Ruan, there's no question, as Brayley goes back to Hancock, and Hancock trundles past one and trapped down 32. Steph Hancock hoping to do a Shane Webke. A retiring front row of the Broncos go out with a premiership on the big stage of the grand final day. Whatamawala, little set piece, nice, back into Lavinia Gould. Was she tackled? Yes, said the referee.
It's off the ground.
Well, straight off the bench and straight into a rehearsed piece was Gould. Terrific tackle, Simona Taufa.
It's a nice play, that. It's like the outside-inside play where you're running at the same angle, 45-degree angle. That catches defences out. They don't expect the ball to go back to a support player running that same line. Gray takes the ball forward now. She's had a great for the 18.5 minutes.
We may see that play again a little later tonight, Pete, at this venue, Channel 9. You'll see the coverage 7 p.m. Dallin Wateni Zalesniak up the middle.
A Cronulla playing as well. We might see it Valentine Holmes.
Correct. What a match coming up that is. Now they go away to O'Mealy, causing headaches with every touch. Here's Stowers. Here's the one they need to get the ball to. And the Broncos contain her 35 metres out. O'Mealy, Studden, Taufa. And the pocket referee tipping off a lost ball.
Well, that takes the pressure off the Broncos. What they were doing really well, and if you look back at the last few plays, the Broncos were working the players over and getting up at marker nice and set just to give their defence a little bit of time, and they forced an error there, an uncharacteristic one from Samaima, so they'll have a chance to get out of their half.
Yeah, super shot from Lavinia Gould coming in there, driving in. She was a player that nearly got away in the set play down the other end of the field and contributing there with some really good defence.
10 seconds.
Joe, for the people who didn't see your career, who do we compare Joe Barrett to of what we're seeing here today?
Oh, that's probably the hardest question I could be asked. I find that really challenging to answer.
I asked her
Joe?
earlier. She said a cross between Greg Inglis and Billy Slater.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be on air or anything. I can only think of things like, I had a head like Julia Robinson after the head knock last week.
Julia Roberts, did you say?
Julia Robinson, no. We're miles apart. It's really hard to answer, I guess, because if I look at these girls out there, I played two very different positions. So I don't think too many players had probably that experience. Oh, whoever dropped the ball, I was probably like them.
What do you do here, Skipper? Do you take the two?
No, take the tap like they have, and it's a quick one as well. Nearly caught them out.
Still
going.
Still no score, Pete, either. They're 8 metres away. Will that change now, the Broncos? Brigginshaw filling the void at dummy half.
I think we're about to see first points, Joel.
Now we go across here, and they're taken to the ground just short of the try line. Left-hand side now to Brigginshaw. Brigginshaw takes them on. She gets the job done herself, Brigginshaw. The class prevails. Next to the posts at the southern end, the Broncos 4, kick to come, Roosters 0.
The one thing about Ali Brigginshaw, they probably have watched her plays. They're aware of the set plays of the Broncos. A bit like playing, anyone who's really good, like Jonathan Thurston, or you know what they're going to do, but it's another thing to defend it.
Yeah, you love to see halves carry the football out in front there so that it tells the defence, well, I can pass, I can kick, or I can run. And the left foot sidestep there from Brigginshaw. Saw her go back towards the post. She was the best in the cup final last year. And a great effort there from the Broncos after conceding a lot of field position of late. Alana, that's a confidence booster for the Broncos.
Sure is, Stello, and I think it goes back to the quick tap that Brittany Brayley took, but all of the confidence. Ali Brigginshaw, she's got that famous left foot step. You really can't afford to ball watch on her, especially close to the line, but she just proved to us why she is so dangerous in that end of the field.
Chelsea Baker, 5 goals last week, 2 tries to take the Broncos to 6-0. Right boot strikes it, she slips and misses, score remains 4-0 Broncos. So the slipped kick from Baker. Here we go. Score remains 4-0.
That's how I kicked, if anybody's asking.
Well, the Roosters have reacted to that. It's a double change coming up. Maynard is coming on. Just what's the number 14 out of dummy half, she's sharp. And Caldwell in 16, not too far away from joining us as well. And she was very strong last week. Well, the Broncos now on the back of points, a spring in their step.
Joe, you might have been left-footed.
Oh, mate, I couldn't kick the sheets off. I didn't kick, and I didn't really pass much. But I did other stuff.
Don't worry, there's one on record of Joel not...
Let's get back to the game plan.
Not nailing it beautifully from out wide.
Here comes, speaking about out wide, they shift it wide. Let's change subject, and Fotomawala is eventually... No, there's the offload late to Brayley, and it took up 3 Roosters players out of the play as well. Hancock gets past the 10. Brayley, quick play the ball, so she takes off. Brigginshaw now looking for Baker. Ball comes loose. Well, they are getting opportunities, the Roosters. I'm not sure Adam Hardigan, with all the possession, would be too happy with the 4-0 deficit.
Back here, Broncos.
I think this is a huge 5 or 6 minutes for the Roosters. They look like conceding another try before the break if they're not careful here, and the game could get away from them. Riggenshaw really starting to find some room. Great stuff from Brittany Brayley out of dummy half as well. She's going across and finding plenty of willing runners. So I think that was a very timely turnover there for the Roosters. They were on their heels.
All right, heads down. Heads down, let's go. Clock's off. All right, clock off. Ball, out. Yours, mate. Yeah.
So Maynard from the base of the scrum found Stowers.
Move now, step. Clear at 6. Here and hold all the way. Go.
Maynard. Now to Kelly. They shifted back here, and Simon has had few touches. Simon, as she's brought down, possibly the quickest on the field, they tell me. A length of the field try in the grand final against the Mounties, against the Mama Taufas triumphant team. Maynard, Caldwell, and 4 Broncos asked to make that tackle.
Go 4. Don't push off 14.
Latu. Latu, good charge. Maynard takes off, no markers there, so play on. Studden steps off the left to O'Mealy, and Pili makes the tackle, back to Stowers. The umbrella defence for the Broncos.
Yeah, Maddie Studden put way too much pressure on her 5'8", Lavina O'Mealy there. She explored and then decided to pass, and number 6 had a defender right in the face on the last tackle. Game, big 4.5 minutes coming up here for the Roosters. Can't afford to concede again.
Robinson, no relation, but running style reminds me of the great Britain player Jason Robinson. Ball comes back away to Brigginshaw, and taking it well there for the Broncos was Arakua. Try scorer last week, Arakua.
Very powerful off the bench. Unbelievable.
Penalty for the strip there. Contemplating whether to kick for touch or take the tap 32 out. They go for the latter.
I'm sensing that you're sensing points, Pete.
I'm sensing that you're sensing that I'm sensing that, yes, there are points. Another penalty now.
Federica, they opt to forego the 2. There's Arakua. Within 15 here. Dangerous period here for the Roosters. They shifted across now. Nati back in field to Mott. Potamawala. Potamawala crashes over. The sense was right, Peter Sterling. The Broncos out by 8.
Well, the pair of you did make a lot of sense there, but if you look at Fotu Mawala, that is a really good explanation as to why she got Player of the World Cup tournament at the end of last year, and one of the reasons I would suggest that Paul Dyer was keen to get her signed up to the Broncos as soon as he could.
Yeah, that's a really robust run, isn't it? It's a bad miss from Tasman Gray, and she's been one of the Roosters' best, but it's a one-on-one shot there where the contact misses, and it's backed up by 2 other missed tackles, but the first one was the important one here. Ball back on the inside, that gets through the line. A couple of clutching tackles there, and you're not going to stop this young lady that close out. 8-0, kick to come, and that's a timely score there on the stroke of half-time.
Tawila Fotamawala from Ipswich scores the try. Baker.
How do you think she's feeling about this conversion, Chelsea?
I'd say that she's cleaned the stud. Sometimes the boots get collected with turf. And
I watched the NRL last week. It was like they had a blacksmith on the sideline. He had the hoof pick out, taking exactly that to get the dirt off the bottom of the boots.
I don't think they use the long studs anymore, the screw-ins, Pete. So here comes Chelsea Baker. Just before half-time, that's the kick, Chelsea. Broncos 10, Roosters 0.
Stay on side.
Tawila Fotumwala scores the second for the Broncos. So their season is really under the pump here now, the Roosters. Arakua, a determined charge. So inside the final 2 of the first half. Lavinia Gould, his talent, scares to the left, looking for Robinson. And Robinson beats one. Good tackle there from the Roosters. Finished off by Caldwell. In fact, it was Gray who made the tackle. Arakua Gray again. This time Caldwell comes in. Penalty here for the Broncos coming.
Grapple tackles the call. Minute and a half. Broncos should get on with this as quickly as they can.
Arakua slips, and I wonder whether the NRL players are taking note. We've seen a few slip here. We saw Tedesco slipping last week here also. They shift it wide. Nati, there's the try scorer. Fotumwala had a target for Kelly. 38 metres out. The Broncos inside the final minute first half. Arakua hungry for possession. 32 out here. 3 tackles to go here. The Roosters, error to the Broncos.
The Roosters looking a bit impatient and flustered, and the Broncos are very calm at the moment. They're making ground. It's a bit of emotion there in between the forward packs as well.
Still going. Let's go. Broncos, heads down.
It was just the knee of the defender there who inadvertently got in the way of the play the ball. And no penalty awarded, just poor ball control as Studden feeds in the last 20 seconds of this game. And merely shapes the kick and has the ball stripped out. It's play on.
Oh dear, Gould gets the ball back. 15 seconds they have to hold out here, the Roosters. This could cost their season. Brayley takes off. Kelly makes the tackle. 18 metres away. Last play of the first half. Brigginshaw. Arakua wrapped up by Latu and Gray. And that's half time. The Broncos an emphatic first 30. Brisbane 10, Roosters 0. Half time next. James Bracey and Alana Ferguson will dissect all of the first half action. You're watching the Women's Premiership. The Roosters against the Broncos live on the home of Rugby League. Nines Wide Water Sports. Welcome back to Allianz Stadium, the second half of the Women's Premiership. The Broncos and the Roosters about to commence. The Broncos 10-0. There's Chantel Stowers. And as we mentioned in the first half, if she was bereft of possession, perhaps she would find herself in the back row. It's early days, but you just get the sense they've got to score first here in the second half. 10-0, the Broncos, a team who scored 30 plus last week. And here they go. O'Mealy, kick reception for Liaki, the first carry of the second half. Maynard away now, and trundling charge from Caldwell. Arakua makes the tackle with Brayley. So still there, Simona Taufa. Good news for the Roosters. Latu been brilliant since coming off the bench. Studden, long pass to Kelly. Kelly's the one they need to get it to. Ward wraps her up. Out the back it goes now to Simon. And another mistake for the Roosters.
I think Kelly thought she was going over the sideline, and that's why she had to get the ball back in the field of play. And the Brisbane players react to that early error. Being forced towards the side. It's a super tackle there from Meg Ward. And I'm with you, Joel. They certainly need to be the first to score, as one of the combatants for our semi-final later on make their way into the ground. That's the Panthers. By their coach Cameron Serraldo, his 6th game in charge. James Maloney, his right-hand man, literally, against the Sharkies.
Well, you mentioned the great defence of Meg Ward. This is great defence upon her. Sending her back 10 metres or so. Taufa was the primary defender on that occasion. Arakua to Federica. The Broncos inside the half of the Roosters. And there's a Terrific carry. As Hancock gets to her feet, Brayley, Arakua hungry for possession. Simona Taufa makes the tackle. 32 away, Brayley. Brayley to Brigginshaw flat, Federica. Foliaki spins off the tackle. Broncos 22 metres away here. Brayley, Brigginshaw, feigned a kick, puts the kick through now. And Simon on the first bounce gets it back for the Roosters. Gets away from one, there's the dummy. Oh, the palm. A brutal palm across to Gould. Brown. Oh, another big charge from the Broncos. Brayley made the tackle.
Yeah, in conjunction with Amber Pilley.
Federica this time. There's Brayley. The eyes lit up as Caldwell. Flat pass away now to Taufa. Karina Brown came back and it was timing from Brayley and Pilley.
Poor old Karina, she copped one of those last week, so she's a bit of a target for the defence by the looks.
Yeah, I thought that really hurt the no try to Karina Brown in the first half from the kick.
Repeating 40-30 is on the menu today, but straight down the middle. Sideline, Alana.
Yeah, Joel, just another quick update on Ruan. She was having a little bit of trouble with that thumb at half-time, but the doctor has had another look at it and they've re-strapped it. And then also just a quick word from the coaches. The Broncos coach said that he was very proud. They're earning the right out there and they just need to keep weathering the storm. The Roosters, they need to stay in the grind. As we see a penalty here be awarded to the Broncos. They need to complete their sets and stick at their game plan.
10 points to 0. The Broncos can make a giant stride towards being there on grand final day. Nati finds touch. What's that sort of crowd? Here come the Sharkies. Another Brayley we see as Hancock. 32 metres out the Broncos. Brayley showing again, now taken down by Taufa. 18 metres away here, Broncos, looking for their third. Whanamawala has one of those two. Oh, good defence again. Terrific tackle from Caldwell and Latu, and they get the ball back for the Roosters.
Timely hit by the forwards, and the Roosters needed that. They'll get a lot of confidence back because it's been such a start fast to this second half.
The bench has been good, haven't they? Caldwell and Latu, Maynard. Simona Taufa, of course, started on the bench as well.
Yeah, I've got to say the Broncos been pretty good in that department as well. Steph Hancock, her experience and strength into the game. Gould has been tremendous, and Arakua has worked the joint down. So pretty good service from the entire squad. As the Roosters look to bring it out from their own end. Brown out of dummy half. Oh, and driven by Brigginshaw.
Yeah, you mentioned Gould, Lavinia Gould. This week, 3 14-hour shifts as a Boilermaker. And now to play rugby league. Just such a tough kid, Lavinia Gould. Simona Taufa. Gould makes the tackle on Taufa.
Ruan Sims back out there now.
We haven't seen Taufa and Sims on the field together. Does that make a big impact? You would have to think so. As Gray's taken down on the 40-metre stripe. Ruan's not the lady you want on the last play. It goes back to Studden. And Maddie's got to kick it inside the 30. And, oh, hang on a minute. That lands in the hands of Stowers. Without touch to the Broncos. Almost the gem in the rough.
Wait for Peter. With the foot.
Well, in the end, it's all sorts of trouble for the Roosters here. Got that completely wrong. Dummy half threw it to a front rower who knew she wasn't the kicker. She tried to find the halfback. And then running backwards, just a complete missed kick here. That's inviting the Broncos to score next. That's Gould again.
20 metres away, Gould. Brayley at dummy half patiently peels off to the right side of the field. Hancock looks for the offload. They stick on desperately, the Roosters. Still looking to free that left arm is Hancock. And Caldwell makes the tackle. 15 away, Brayley. Back to the left now, Brigginshaw. Brigginshaw dummying and It's that over-exaggerated Thurston dummy from Brigginshaw, which led to the first try. 5 metres away here, Brayley to Narty, Narty to Moala, now to Baker, Baker goes way to Kara, back in field, they scored the try through Meg Ward, and now the gap getting bigger for the Broncos.
It's been a really good battle of Meg Ward versus Isabel Kelly this afternoon, and the catch pass just leading up to that try was a little bit messy, a little bit awkward to watch, but in the end, 4 points is 4 points to the Broncos.
We go back to the abomination of the last tackle. The Roosters, instead of kicking the football down the other end of the field, they just handed it straight over, and you saw there Studden. She got it tracked it in, and that opened up an overlap on the outside. The pass had to come back in once that had been exhausted, but they had plenty of troops there. And Alana Ferguson, it's a big blow landed by the Broncos.
Yeah, and again, for me, Brittany Brayley's the difference. Straight out of hooker, just perfect delivery. We see the Broncos using the ball. They're very confident with their ball movement, shifting it out to the edge and that inside ball, but it's the confidence, but just the delivery from dummy half. She gets it out straight away. Plenty of time for the players outside her to make those decisions, and they're making the right ones, which is great for the Broncos, but not so good for the Roosters.
Yeah, a bit of Cameron Smith in Brittany Brayley. She's very cool, knows which way to go, is quite happy to take a couple of steps out of dummy half to bring her players onto it. 14 looking to become 16, but she won't get a tougher kick than this one, Chelsea Baker.
You often see it, don't you, when someone misses a kick from in front and then slots one from the sideline, which Chelsea Baker can do.
Oh, no pressure on it, Joe.
14-0, and Baker bringing it back. It stays. That's the scoreline. 14-0. Broncos leading the Roosters. Back to Allianz, and Broncos well and truly in command. 14 points to 0 over the Roosters. The try scorer for Brisbane, Meg Ward. Brigginshaw captures it. And off they go again through Lenarduzzi. Ruan back into the contest. Trying to lead from the front. Oh, Federica, and Ruan dives upon it. Here's a chance, Roosters. O'Mealy to Foliaki. Brigginshaw diving in for the tackle with Brayley. 23 metres away. Samaima Taufa. Maynard looking for Sims. There's Ruan. Gould makes the tackle. Brayley there to accommodate also. 6 metres out, Roosters. Maynard. Now they send it across. It's in the hands of Studden. Studden long pass looking for Kelly, but desperate defence from Meg Ward wins the ball back for Brisbane.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the cutout pass was the right play there. Kelly quite expecting it, and great desperation from Meg Ward to do the swan dive over the top to get the loose ball. They made an error, but they defended it well, the Broncos.
Brayley, must be fit Brayley, very punctual in the dummy half, always there waiting for the ball quite early. Giving herself time to have a bit of a Bo Peep around things. Left hand side now to Lenarduzzi.
On that, Joel, Brittany would be one of the fittest players going around at the moment. She's been fit coming into the game. This level of competition is providing opportunity for players to get fitter and increase the standard, but with or without this competition, she's been fit since she's been playing the game, and you can see how that affects the quality of her performance for a whole game.
So Kelly,
First one from Roosters.
well, there's more pressure about to go on the Roosters here. An error from them.
Yeah, I think McGrady here just couldn't get under the ball. Ruan Sims gets the thumbs up, but this is where Ruan might have hurt that thumb again.
Get a more strapping tape. She's got more strapping tape than Farlap. She'll be right.
She was never in the right position to catch that, Sharon McGrady. The ball looked like it swirled late. The Broncos scrum feed 20 metres in. Just have a look at Brayley out of dummy half, always looking. Before she picks it up, she's always had a look at both sides of the ruck to see which is the best avenue of attack.
Short side they go, Broncos. Brigginshaw, that dummy again, and they're trying to put them over the western touchline through Foliaki. She stays in, Brigginshaw. Here goes Federica. Federica within 2. Here they're short on the left, the Roosters. If the Broncos can get it there, they're a big chance. Gould dummying. They might not need it, just short. Lavinia Gould. Brayley, now it goes to the right. Brigginshaw herded back, gets the pass to Baker. Baker finished off by Taufa. They've still got the numbers on the right here, Broncos. Brayley to Nati. Nati goes across and the ball goes lost. Cleaned up again now by Takawa. Takawa steps infield. Studden desperately tries to hold on. And Takawa finished off 3 metres out from the try line. Brayley. Deep now to Nati. Nati, long pass again hitting the deck. Federica picks it up. Back to Brigginshaw. Brigginshaw puts the kick through. Broncos chasing through. Robinson coming, but not before the fluorescent boot of McGrady sends it into touch.
Well, a couple of passes went to ground here, but Brigginshaw just summed it up beautifully. Had a look. A little kick in behind the winger, and she was taking no chances, McGrady. Just in front of a flying Julia Robinson. And pressure maintained, line drop out. Getting that feeling again, Joel.
Oh, I'm sensing that same sense, Pete. This could be the season for the Roosters. They will play regardless next week, but they've got to find a way to get out of this. Almost a point a minute required for the Roosters. And a terrific start to the set for Steph Hancock. 20 metres away, Broncos. Brayley, Gould swerving back to the right, gets it to Fotomawala. And Fotomawala encounters with Samima Taufa. Brayley hauling players back to the midfield. Brayley now to Brigginshaw. Brigginshaw flat pass away, and there's a knock on by Federica.
Good defence.
Lost into the Roosters player.
So a couple of mistakes in attack for Federica this afternoon. She won't be happy with that. And the Broncos, look, they're winning and they're doing well, but they've made a few silly errors with their passing in the last few minutes, which they'll need to tidy up. Hopefully, or maybe this is a chance for the Roosters to get down the right end of the field.
Yeah, they can just feel the killer blow, looking to land it. And sometimes their pass selection hasn't been ideal. But they're starting to look tired, the Roosters. I know we're only 14 minutes into this second half, but I don't see 3 tries in them.
Who's the go-to, Joe? If it was to happen, Stowers makes a charge here.
Look, in a bit of space. You know, we say her name a lot, but there's a reason for it. If you can get Isabel Kelly in a bit of space, she's strong enough and quick enough to find the white line.
Meters gain, Harakua, who incidentally came off the bench. So to be leading the charge in the meters gain department, quite remarkable as McGrady gets to her feet. A little buckle there as we see Kelly. He's speaking about the possession. That's not the kind of possession that she needs, Kelly, as
that helps.
McGrady's still down, a piggyback here, Roosters.
Yeah, she got ragdolled, Sharon McGrady. Pretty heavy tackle. She landed awkwardly on that left side.
So tap taken, they've opted to run the ball. Samima Taufa, that's an inspired charge for the Roosters. Maynard, Sims, Ruan goes about her business, but Foliaki comes up with the error. And the Broncos looking to put this one to bed. Robinson.
Yeah, she's a real danger, Julia Robinson. If she can find a little bit of space, she might just be the match winner. 6 again, signalled now, as Amber Pilley takes it 35 out. We're going back to Sharon McGrady here.
Not quite sure what they do here on the bench, the Roosters. Perhaps Kylie Hilda comes back into it. As Lena Ducey got hold of McGrady. father, Jason McGrady, played for Canterbury in the early 90s. Her uncle Ewan McGrady, she sadly lost her father Jason. He was 39, Jason, when she's so proud to be wearing this jumper, Sharon McGrady, but just wishes her dad could have been here to see this, and she's trying to stay on the field.
Yeah, it's a famous surname in the game, isn't it? Ewan, a Rothmans medal winner many years ago, best and fairest.
Whoa, right, hang on.
Bring it back. Just wait for the whistle.
There's some strike out in the right here for the Brisbane Broncos.
Would you say that's strikeability, Joel?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As Brigginshaw goes back to Gould, you'll be taking that to school.
Yeah. I'm an English teacher. That's the new spelling word for the test on Monday.
Brayley,
I'll be going to town with it.
Brigginshaw. And there's Narty. Here's strikeability for you as it comes to Ward. A few try scorers involved in that exchange of passing. So Brayley was almost claiming.
Yeah, she's in some distress here.
This is Meg Ward in possession.
She's had a super game, Meg Ward. She pointed out it's been a really good centre battle out there, and
there's been a claim of a crusher tackle.
oh yes, oh yeah, that's not good. Under Isabel Kelly, who shows immediate concern. Yeah, that's not good.
We'll take a break. Broncos 14-0. Meg Ward, the Broncos centre, just being tended to by the Broncos staff at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think she takes any further part, Joel. This was a pretty nasty one. The head gets caught under Isabel Kelly and gets really compressed. See a lot of defenders in and goes under there, and the body weight of Kelly comes right down on the back of the head and the neck.
So Kelly did show immediate concern for Meg Ward, the opposing centre. She's sitting up here, which is a positive sign. And
yeah, look at 14-0 with 12 to go. You don't take any risks, surely. Well, it's great to see her sitting up and moving that neck sideways. Yep, she's happy to play on.
yeah, she's okay for the time being, Meg Ward. With her team leading 14 points to 0, 14 minutes remaining. So it is point-a-minute stuff here for the Roosters.
Yeah, you can see there she can hardly hold it. The ball in that left arm, left shoulder is a real problem.
Okay, with the foot.
Hold, go, 3.
As harsh as it may sound, that's where the Roosters need to attack then if she's going to stay out.
Storch. As Brayley goes back to the short side, Nardi fought him a while, and Meg Ward, who would have been some story, scoring a try moments after.
She's right, Stella.
Brayley,
Wow,
Narty.
she's tough.
Gould, long pass away to Federica, who lets it through to the keeper. Pilley gets the pass away to Robinson. Here's a chance for Robinson,
Yeah, we're coming
but
back.
called back from the man in the blue jumper.
Hand over.
Play the ball 10 in.
But an impressive dive nonetheless.
Yeah, 10 in.
Well, she's a player, isn't she? Julia Robinson. She started the game making a break, and she nearly finished it with a try here. She's very elusive and quick.
Stand together.
The Roosters have got to throw caution to the wind. Hilda back at dummy half. Long, sharp pass to Taufa. Quite remarkable that she's yet to leave the field, Taufa, since coming on. Hilda back to Sims. Hilda makes the trip, the dummy half from Foster-Tuncurry on a daily basis to train, and picks up Isabel Kelly on the way from Central Coast. Caldwell, Walton, Hilda. Hilda exploring down the short side. Brayley has made some tackles. That's 30 tackles now for Brayley. Back in field to Studden. The ball goes up. And Baker, the fullback, lets it bounce. Was it touched? Was it knock on? No, said the referee.
I'm not sure she let it bounce. I think it just eluded her, and she was a little bit fortunate to regather it immediately. Time running out for the Tricolours.
Takawa, her debut in the Broncos jumper. So far looking good. But just a little door ajar here for the Roosters.
Takawa's come over from New Zealand, so she's one of a few girls that the Broncos brought over. She's actually had quite a solid game today, but we'll be disappointed with that. Meg Ward's still looking a little bit uncomfortable too.
Yeah, Takawa, Nati, Federica, Arakua, all from New Zealand to play in this Broncos side. Studden, this is the time now. This is their last throw at the stumps here, the Roosters. So Simon comes in field and Brigginshaw with Baker. Shuffle her back. Hilda, Walton. So the big guns are out here now. Penalty.
I've got the 10, mate. It's a 10-metre penalty. It's not quick.
Quick tap. We need to go quickly.
Okay, hold for the tap. Hold. Hold, go.
O'Mealy to Taufa. Taufa within 10. Can they loom up into the rear-view mirror of the Broncos? Hilda slides to the left-hand side of the field. Palming away from one they go, and Tamara is taken down. Where's the strike weapons? They're on the left here. Hilda goes right, though. Flat pass away to Walton. And Eliana defied on this occasion, 2 metres out from the try line.
Yeah, great contact there from Brigginshaw.
So they're flat, Sims and Taufa.
Back here and play the ball. On the mark. It's tackle 3. You're both at fault. Play the ball. Hold the line. Time's on.
Taufa and Sims flat here. Are they just the foil or do they go there? Hilda goes deep, Studden. Studden sends it across now and wrapped up. Well, Ward's okay.
She's okay.
She's okay.
No, she's not.
No, she's not.
No, she's not. She just waved the sideline. They go down that same side through Kelly.
Kelly to Simon. Simon, there's that palm. Back in field, she palms again, but Federica sticks on. Brayley there to make the tackle as well with Storch.
And Meg Ward waving to the sideline.
You boys have done that twice today.
Julia oh, here's a mess up for the Broncos.
But on that, Peter, she does actually get called that by the Gillaroos girls.
Well, she's actually limping. We know her left shoulder, left elbow.
Oh, she's carrying about 80
good,
injuries.
but she's actually limping in behind the try line now.
$14 points. Just repeating, there is golden point in the women's premiership. They need to find at least 14 in 9 minutes.
Not impossible, just
Absolutely.
really difficult.
Well, the whole mood changes, doesn't it? If you can just get that first try as Sims refuses to leave the field, Ruan. Hilda to Taufa. Taufa 12 away. So Studden's popped onto the right side of the field. Hilda now goes to Tamara. Tamara to Walton.
Well, you've got to go at Ward. You've got to try and get Isabel Kelly at Ward.
Hilda. Dummies to Taufa, deep Studden. Studden away now to Brown. Brown, the pass to Kelly. But the pressure came in from Takawa. And the Broncos get the ball back.
Took a risk there out on the right side defence, the Broncos. They darted up out of the line. They had to make that. Or I dare say there would have been points for the Roosters.
Sideline Alana Ferguson.
Look, I'm just sitting down here so impressed with the Broncos' defence. Their line speed and just how solid they're hitting the ball this late in the game is very impressive, and the talk, especially outside in, just has not stopped. So very impressive from the Broncos, and I think they're just going to keep it up. They just look like they're on a roll. They're very encouraging of one another out here, and they're going to finish strong, I think.
Yeah, Alana, can you just have a word to their bench and tell them to get Meg Ward out of there? She's got another game next week.
Meg Ward, no worries.
Well, they're just about, Alana, booked their place to grand final day, the Broncos. But coming up, it's a semi-final time. All the good teams, they can go now. Sharks taking on the Panthers live 7 p.m. right here on Channel 9 at Allianz Stadium. There they are, the boys. And you think about a youngster will win this premiership. Is it Campbell Graham or this man, perhaps Crichton from the Panthers? Campbell Graham of South Sydney. Jesse Ramian perhaps of the Sharks. Brodie Koch from the Melbourne Stormers. Karina Brown lost the ball back and a good chase, and this is it. This is the set they must score. Stowers. So Stowers looks as though she may now be infield. Maloney and Moylan. Well, they're wearing different jumpers this time last year. As slipping away goes Kelly.
Well, they're wearing each other's.
They were as infield they come across, and Simon back away now. Here comes O'Mealy. O'Mealy to McGrady. But Robinson makes the tackle. Ruana dummy half. Loose pass, Hilda. Hilda to the line and finished off by Peters. And Peters, incidentally, will play her sister next week when they take on the Warriors. Tamara puts the kick up. Looking for Takawa. Oh! Takawa makes the mistake.
It's actually got two sisters in the Warriors side. Hilda Mariu as well. So there's 3 Peters sisters playing in this competition.
The scenario could well be as well, Joe, that if they do win tomorrow, which I suppose based on the week 1 results many would expect, that the Broncos could play the Warriors 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, that's true. It'll be interesting how the Warriors go, because they had such a strong start, but they've had to travel, and I'm not sure they're as fit as the other sides, but I think they can play with as much intensity as anyone. So with the right attitude, they could just get up for a win.
So the Roosters trailing by 14, but dreams are free. Samaima Tau for 5 away. Hilda scanning, goes left, now to Sims. And Ruan brings 3 Broncos players in to make the tackle. Hilda now deep, away to Studden, but rushing in again goes Ward for the one-on-one strip too.
Well, the 14 is impressive from Broncos, but the nil scoreline will impress the coach and the support staff more. That was great stuff on their own line, and now they work it out strongly. Great charge there from Arakua.
Alana Ferguson.
Yeah, Steph Hancock, forward from the Broncos, left the field a few minutes ago. She's got some ice on her foot, so we won't see her again for the rest of the night, but hopefully she's back in the Broncos side next week.
Yeah, it made a huge difference to Alana when she came on as Brayley goes to Storch. Real country girl, isn't she, Storch?
Yeah, she's fantastic. I was talking to Paul Dyer last week saying what a great attitude and approach she's brought to the Broncos squad, and she was in the Queensland team earlier this year and does a lot of miles from central Queensland to be able to play the game, and yeah, huge year for Mariah.
There goes Simon. Simon, look at this stage of the game, they're still rushing from everywhere. Here the Brisbane Broncos. O'Mealy to Kelly, who's been playing on the left, but she's explored to the right to find some football. Hilda, Taufa to Tamara to Sims, and Sims, basketball pass over the top, but straight on the chest of Takawa, who gives it back to the Roosters. And now they jet upfield.
Yeah, Tasman Gray taking it forward. Brigginshaw off. It's an unusual replacement. Ballinger coming in for the halfback.
16 a step, 16.
Not sure if she'll actually go into halfback still.
I'm with you. Here's O'Mealy, short ball on the outside. Simon, nowhere to go.
Yeah, they're putting their best player in cotton wool, Brigham short. 30 metres out here, the Roosters. They're going to run out of time. And who would have thought 2 games in to the Women's Premiership, the highly fancied Sydney Roosters, who are littered with Gillaroos, would be 0-2. Hilda, Tamara, Taufa, Studden goes deep to Kelly. Kelly set play back to Brown, and she's taken down 15 away. Is there a consolation prize on the offering here? Taufa. And Jemima Taufa, 8 metres away. Just over 2 minutes remaining. Hilda to Kelly. They're trying to get it to Kelly. And Kelly, not many games does she play in without crossing that stripe.
Did she get it down?
Got to try. Just confirm the grounding.
Right, Ward looking to do it. Ah, yeah.
Isabel Kelly maintains possession and grounds the ball. We have a decision.
Yep.
Just an absolute try-scoring machine. Kelly, the try-scorer. You speak to those in the Roosters fraternity, and I'll tell you that if you had to put up any kind of athletic measurement against the men, Kelly is the one you want to send in. An unbelievable athlete, isn't she, Alana Ferguson?
Or is. And we see Meg Ward's arm go in there to try and... Oh, here we go. But Meg Ward gets an arm in there to try and get her hands off the ball. Izzy Kelly, too strong. I tell you what, the time that woman spends in the gym has certainly paid off. She's an absolute beast. Check out her Instagram because she's dynamite, but her strength pays there. She gets over the line. Well done, Izzy Kelly. Superstar.
Yeah, good wide ball to Kelly to give her a little bit of space. And she got on the outside of Meg Ward. Sole try scorer for the side last week and will be again this week. Similar scoreline, actually. And Maddie Studden, who missed her only conversion attempt last week. Be long odds to be kicking this one from the sideline.
And Maddie Studden waves away. 14 points to 4. Broncos leading the Roosters. Yeah, score reports. You have no plugs for the footy, no. Righto. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Just wait for the clock. Stay on side.
Just over a minute remaining. The Broncos to go 2 from 2, but coming up, this blockbuster. Sharkies taking on the Panthers. The Roosters have a penalty here. 7 p.m. No Dugan, no Graham. Who wins this one? The Sharks traditionally have a terrific edge against the Panthers. With that man Maloney. Can he take another team toward a grand final and a premiership? 7 p.m. on the main channel, Channel 9. You'll see the Sharkies taking on the Panthers. 30 seconds remaining here.
Yeah, Lavinia Gould was offside from the kickoff there. Coach won't be happy about that. And that's a forward pass delivered from Taufa, but called play on.
Up together. Get space. Step here. Hold.
22 metres out. Geez, she played tough, hasn't she, Ryan? Hasn't played for a long time with this hamstring injury. They go across to O'Mealy. O'Mealy set play, and Stowers is jumped upon by Arakura Nadi. Last play of the match, the Broncos will make it 2 from 2. Sims will take it down. They're going to let them get another play here. The clock is up, but they play on here as it goes away now to Hilda. There's the siren. The kick comes through. Baker dives upon it. The Broncos...
No. We've got a player impeding the chase. We're not finished yet, Joe. We've got 1 to go.
Well, we're threatening to finish this match, Pete. 14 points to 4. Gee, I tell you what, Joe, they have to be the benchmark, this Brisbane team.
Two very solid wins against good sides. I think that's the only way to look at it now. And with that will come responsibility and pressure. So it'll be interesting to see how they go and recover for the week ahead.
The referee says it's the last play. What are we doing? I think they're still working it out. Referee Goff and Studden will eventually take this tap.
Last tackle!
Now they go to Hilda. This is the last play of the match. The Broncos will make it 2 from 2. Hilda puts the kick through. It sits up, but Takawa takes the medicine. Thanks for joining us on the Women's Premiership. Broncos too good. 14 points to 4 over the Roosters.